Before Rome, before China reached its imperial height, and before the great Islamic caliphates emerged, the Persian Empire became the first true superpower of the ancient world. Founded around 550 BCE by Cyrus the Great, Persia united vast territories stretching from Egypt and Anatolia to Central Asia and the Indus Valley. Never before had such a large and diverse population been governed under a single administration. What made Persia remarkable was not merely conquest. Cyrus and his successors built a sophisticated system of government. Through governors known as satraps, a network of roads, and one of the world's earliest postal systems, the empire connected cultures across 3 continents. The Persian capital of Persepolis became a symbol of imperial power. Magnificent palaces, towering columns, and intricate stone carvings showcased the wealth and diversity of the empire. Traders, diplomats, and travelers moved across safe routes protected by Persian authority. Militarily, Persia relied on disciplined infantry, cavalry, and the elite immortals, a force of 10,000 professional soldiers. Their campaigns expanded Persian influence across much of the known world. Yet size became a weakness. Internal rivalries and succession disputes weakened central authority. Meanwhile, a rising Macedonian king named Alexander challenged Persian dominance. In 330 BCE, after a series of decisive battles, the Persian Empire fell. Although conquered, Persia's legacy endured. Its methods of administration, taxation, diplomacy, and infrastructure influenced Rome, Byzantium, and later Islamic empires. The first great superpower had fallen, but it established a blueprint for empire that would shape world history for centuries.
When the Abbasid Caliphate emerged in 750 CE, it inherited a vast Islamic world and transformed it into one of history's greatest centers of learning and civilization. At the heart of the empire stood Baghdad, founded in 762 CE. Within a century, it had become one of the largest cities on earth. Scholars, merchants, engineers, physicians, and philosophers gathered there, turning the city into the intellectual capital of the medieval world. The Abbasids controlled trade routes connecting Europe, Africa, India, and China. Wealth flowed through their markets, while ideas traveled alongside goods. This exchange created the Islamic Golden Age. The famous House of Wisdom became a center for preserving and expanding knowledge. Ancient Greek texts were translated into Arabic. Advances were made in mathematics, astronomy, medicine, chemistry, and engineering. Military strength helped secure the empire's vast territory, but its greatest weapon was knowledge. Concepts such as algebra, sophisticated medical practices, and scientific inquiry flourished under Abbasid rule. Yet governing such a large realm proved difficult. Regional governors became increasingly independent. Political fragmentation weakened central authority. In 1258, the Mongols captured Baghdad, ending the Abbasid era as a major imperial power. Despite its fall, the Abbasid legacy survived through science, education, architecture, and intellectual traditions that helped shape both the Islamic world and Europe. The Abbasids demonstrated that a superpower's influence could be measured not only by military might, but by the ideas it leaves behind.
In the late 15th century, Spain launched an age of exploration that would change the course of world history. The voyage of Christopher Columbus in 1492 opened the door to vast overseas territories. Over the next centuries, Spain built an empire spanning the Americas, Europe, Africa, and Asia. For the first time, a global empire connected continents through regular trade and administration. Silver from the mines of the Americas enriched Spain and funded its ambitions across the world. Spanish fleets dominated oceans. Powerful galleons carried treasure and goods across the Atlantic and Pacific. The empire became a driving force behind global commerce, cultural exchange, and religious expansion. Spain also left a lasting architectural and cultural legacy. Cities from Mexico City to Manila still bear the marks of Spanish influence. Yet immense wealth created problems. Dependence on colonial silver weakened economic development at home. Costly wars drained resources. Rival powers such as Britain, France, and the Netherlands challenged Spanish supremacy. By the 18th century, Spain's dominance was fading. Independence movements across Latin America accelerated the empire's decline. Nevertheless, Spanish culture, language, religion, and institutions continue to influence hundreds of millions of people worldwide. Spain was among the first truly global powers, proving that control of the seas could reshape the world. The Mongol Empire remains the largest contiguous land empire in human history. It began with a leader born into hardship. Temujin, later known as Genghis Khan, united the Mongol tribes in 1206 and launched a campaign that transformed Eurasia. Within decades, Mongol armies swept across China, Central Asia, Persia, Eastern Europe, and the Middle East. Their mobility, discipline, and innovative use of cavalry revolutionized warfare. Mongol horse archers moved with astonishing speed. Communication systems allowed commanders to coordinate campaigns across enormous distances. Yet conquest alone does not explain Mongol success. Once territories were secured, trade flourished. The Silk Road entered one of its safest and most prosperous periods. Merchants, technologies, and ideas traveled more freely than ever before. The empire connected east and west on an unprecedented scale. Gunpowder technology, scientific knowledge, and commercial practices spread across continents. However, governing such a vast territory proved difficult. After the death of great leaders, the empire fragmented into competing khanates. Internal divisions gradually weakened Mongol unity. Although the empire dissolved, its impact on global trade, diplomacy, and cultural exchange remains immense. The Mongols demonstrated how speed, organization, and adaptability could create one of history's most formidable superpowers. By the 18th century, the Qing Empire governed one of the largest populations and territories on Earth. Founded by the Manchus in 1644, the Qing expanded China's borders to their greatest historical extent. Under emperors such as Kangxi and Qianlong, China experienced stability, prosperity, and population growth. Agriculture flourished. Trade expanded. Major cities became centers of commerce and culture. China's economy accounted for a substantial share of global output during its peak. The Qing maintained powerful armies and administered a complex multicultural empire. Their influence extended across East and Central Asia. Yet beneath this strength lay growing challenges. Population growth strained resources. Corruption weakened institutions. Western industrial powers gained technological advantages. The Opium Wars exposed military weaknesses and marked the beginning of a difficult century. Internal rebellions and foreign intervention further undermined Qing authority. In 1912, the dynasty ended, bringing more than 2,000 years of imperial rule to a close. Despite its fall, modern China's territorial foundations owe much to the Qing era. France became one of history's most influential powers through military innovation, cultural prestige, and global ambition. The rise of Napoleon Bonaparte transformed France into the dominant force in Europe. His armies defeated numerous coalitions and spread legal and administrative reforms across the continent. Beyond Europe, France built a vast colonial empire stretching across Africa, Asia, and the Americas. French language, philosophy, literature, and art shaped elite culture worldwide. Paris became a center of intellectual life. However, repeated wars exhausted resources. Rivalries with Britain and later Germany challenged French dominance. Although its empire eventually dissolved, French influence remains visible in international law, diplomacy, language, and culture. France proved that cultural power can rival military power in shaping global affairs. The Soviet Union emerged from revolution and became one of only two global superpowers of the 20th century. Following the Russian Revolution of 1917, the USSR rapidly industrialized. During the Second World War, it played a decisive role in defeating Nazi Germany. After 1945, Soviet influence extended across Eastern Europe and beyond. Its military strength rivaled that of the United States. The USSR pioneered achievements in science and technology, including launching the first satellite, Sputnik, and sending the first human into space, Yuri Gagarin. Yet economic inefficiencies, political rigidity, and mounting pressures weakened the system. By 1991, the Soviet Union collapsed. Its legacy continues to influence geopolitics, military strategy, and international relations. The Roman Empire created one of history's most enduring civilizations. At its peak, Rome controlled the Mediterranean world. Roads, aqueducts, laws, and engineering achievements transformed daily life. Roman legions became the most effective military force of their era. Their discipline and organization allowed Rome to maintain control over vast territories. The empire's legal system influenced modern governments. Latin shaped many modern languages. Christianity spread throughout the Roman world. Internal instability, economic pressures, and external invasions contributed to Rome's decline. The Western Empire fell in 476 CE. Yet Rome never truly disappeared. Its institutions, architecture, and ideas remained foundational to Western civilization. At its height, the British Empire governed nearly a quarter of the world's population and territory. Supported by industrialization and unmatched naval power, Britain controlled trade routes across the globe. Railways, telegraphs, shipping networks, and financial institutions connected continents. London became the center of global finance. English spread worldwide. Parliamentary traditions influenced many governments. Scientific and industrial innovations accelerated global transformation. 2 world wars weakened British dominance. Decolonization reshaped the empire after 1945. Yet Britain's influence remains visible in law, language, education, finance, and international institutions. No nation has projected global power more comprehensively than the United States since 1945. Emerging from the Second World War with unmatched industrial capacity, America became the leading military, economic, technological, and cultural force of the modern era. Its influence extends through alliances, financial institutions, innovation, entertainment, scientific research, and global commerce. The United States led the development of the modern digital age, pioneered breakthroughs in computing, aviation, medicine, and space exploration, and maintains military capabilities unmatched in global reach. American culture, from cinema and music to technology and consumer brands, has reached nearly every corner of the world. Challenges remain. Political polarization, geopolitical competition, and shifting economic dynamics continue to test American leadership. Yet no previous power has combined military strength, economic scale, technological innovation, financial influence, cultural reach, and global alliances to the same extent. For these reasons, many historians and political scientists regard the United States as the most powerful superpower in recorded history. In general, from Persia to America, the story of superpowers is ultimately a story of human ambition, innovation, organization, and change. Each empire rose believing its dominance would last forever. None did. And history suggests that no superpower remains unchallenged indefinitely. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to help the channel.